we spend so much time like this, don't we? And we don't even realize we're like this because we're like this all the time. And then sometimes we'll do something like lift the head or just move in a certain way, and we're so stuck like this that just lifting the head, see the head pulls forward and it creates like a little pinch in the back of the neck. Oh, no good. So what I will have us do is we'll do some active opening for here and some passive opening for this region. And then when we do something like lift the head, I want you to think about it, instead of taking the head forward to lift, think of taking the head back to lift. So it almost takes like a little circuit to get there. Or you can think of, I hope you're not afraid of snakes, but the cobra has that just glorious hood. So you could imagine you've got something like that to lift the head. And just in doing that, it gives you a lot more space back here. And it combines well with the opening of this region. So we'll be doing both throughout our class today. All right, so our first position will be your choice, either a supported fish pose, and if you're doing with the blocks, I'll suggest blocks going horizontal across. Any height is fine. I'm just going to show a quick version of that. So that's with blocks. One block under the shoulder blades, one block under the head. I have mine on the low height. You could go higher if you want. Now, if you don't have blocks, or if you just prefer this other version, you'll use your blanket or your towel and you'll roll it up. And this is nice because if it's too high, you can unroll it a little bit. We'll pop that on your mat, also going across. And then as you set up here, you'll start with it right kind of at the lower part of the shoulder blades, but then you'll actually push your body back so that when you land, the high point of the roll is just below where the bottom of the shoulder blades are. Now, in both positions, if you're finding the shoulders are rolling forward, see if you can make a little adjustment, maybe even take a little bit of a wiggle. Also, if it feels like your chin is kind of jutting up, or if the chin feels like it's higher than the forehead, I would put something else underneath your head so that the neck and the throat can be relaxed. Yeah. So here we are in whichever shape you've chosen. You can have the legs bent or straight, whatever is the most comfortable. And as you continue to settle in here, just first take a little note. Notice how your body feels in this position. Notice if any part of you feels tight or constricted. And can you get a sense of where your breath is? Which part of you moves when you breathe? And it's possible, quite likely, that the breath actually moves up a little more, a little higher in the body when you're in a position like this. See if you can find some softness through the front of your throat, and the sides of your neck, the back of the neck. Softness through your face, muscles in your face. And we'll start to add in a little bit of movement here. So just to first take some, maybe a little wiggle in the fingers or circles in the wrists to give the signal to your body that it's ready to move. We'll remain on your support, your blanket or your blocks, and take the arms just right in front of your chest with straight arms. And give the arms a little extra reach towards the ceiling. And you might feel even a little bit of a lift through the back when you do that. And then let the arms go down towards the floor, keeping the arms straight, so it's just like an elevator, up and down. And do that a few times up and down. Now, depending on what prop setup you've got, if you're on the blocks, you'll feel the shoulder blades will be on the blocks, so you'll be able to feel that support there. If you're on the roll, the shoulder blades are a little more free in space, and you might get a little more range of motion that way. So they're both good, they're just different. And then let's pause about halfway between the up and the down. Soften the elbows a little bit. And now on the inhale, let's take the arms wide, but not so wide that you can't see your fingers in your peripheral vision. On the exhale, bring yourself back to center. So take that a few times. Inhale to open. And exhale, close. Great. Just a couple more of those. Yeah. All right, next time you open, let's just let the arms relax. Depending on your setup, they could be out to the side or down along by your hips. Now, in a second, we'll come out of this and come to lay on your back. The best way to get out if you're on a roll is actually lift the hips up, slide your body back slightly, and then just pull the roll out. The best way to get out if you're on the blocks is to bend the elbows, press the forearms into the floor, lead up through the chest, and then push the blocks out of the way and come back to lie down. Yeah. So just be in any way that you're comfortable with where your limbs are. Take just a few rounds of breath. And you might notice the breath is in a different place or has shifted or moved somehow. Very gently, let your head start to turn from side to side, like you're saying no. And then we'll pause. Stay on your back and bend the knees. Let's bend the elbows so it's kind of like a robot arm position. And now think about the shoulder blades. Press the inner shoulder blades up into your back. And as that happens, the chest will lift and you'll feel the shoulders themselves and the backs of the arms press towards the floor. And then you'll back off the pressure and do that a couple of times. So press, inner borders of shoulder blades up into the back, chest lifts, arms press down. And now keep doing that, and you can try, you might take the elbows a little away from the body. That might add some interest. Or you could try around where the elbows are really close to the body. So try it a few different times, a few different ways. And then if you have found a spot that works best for you, next time you're in that position, pause, and let's add on. So press the shoulder blades into the upper back, press the backs of the arms into the floor, lift the chin just slightly, and press the head gently into the floor. Now from here, if it feels tolerable, give a little extra pressure into the arms closer to the elbows, and the shoulders themselves might lift a little bit. Yeah, so it's work. And then you'll relax, come down, let the arms rest. You can untuck the shoulders. Take the feet a little wider with the knees still bent, and just go a few times side to side, little windshield wiper legs. Yeah. And then let's pause here the next time the knees drop right. Stay like that, stretch the arms up by your head and grasp the left forearm and pull back. And then with the left knee, reach the left knee towards the foot end of your mat and let the pelvis and the tailbone tuck under a little bit. Yeah, and then we'll come to center, let the knees drop left. Grasp the right forearm and pull straight back. Reach the right knee towards the foot end of your mat. Let the pelvis tuck under a little bit and the tailbone too. Oh, good. And then come back to center. Let's release the arms. Bring the knees just in towards you. You can take any movement here. Maybe you just swirl the legs around, take a little wiggle or a little side to side. Yeah. Okay, friends. So to get out of this, we'll turn over, coming to all fours position. Hands and knees. Now do feel free, if you're on a hard floor, it might feel better to have a blanket underneath your knees. If you need that, take it. And now at first, just give yourself any kind of movement. Anything goes from the all fours starting block. Yeah. Okay to bend and straighten the elbows. You can move your head. You can move the hips. You can move any speed that you like. Also, feel free to pause if you find a yummy spot. You can stay there. For me, it's always the same spot. Yeah. And then let's pause here, coming back to center. And we'll take a little sequence with cat-cow. So let's go back first to child's pose. And just to give your wrist a little break, perch up onto the fingertips for a second. Spider fingers. And then when you release the hands, let the elbows relax. They may or may not touch the floor. From here, without going anywhere, try to pull the hands and the elbows towards your knees. That little pull. And then just back off. And do that a few times. Little pull. Yeah. And keep going with that. And every time you pull, you might start to lift up a little bit more in the hips. Good, good, good. And now from here, eventually, here, let's do this next one. You'll pull so much that you come back to all fours. Go ahead and straighten out the arms. Inhale. On the exhale, around the back, cat pose. Stay around on your way to child's pose. And once you've landed, let the elbows soften. Then on the inhale, we'll go all the way, do that little pull until you come forward. The arms straighten again, and you're in cow. Exhale around cat to child's pose. And a little pull to come forward and up. Yeah, so keep going a couple more times. Every time you create that little pull effect, can you widen the collarbones, engage through the upper back. Similar idea to when you are resting on your roll or your blocks. Yeah. All right, yogis, let's pause here. The next time we head back to child's pose, and on your way there, tuck the toes under. Stay there and walk back through the knees. Push the mat down, and this time push forward. And that might give you a little extra stretch in the feet. Reach back through your heels. Now, if this is enough, you'll stay put. If you're good for more, walk the hands back to the knees, and you could even come sit up on the heels if that works for you. Now, if you're up, no pressure. If you don't want to be up, you're fine. Inhale the arms up over your head. And then on the exhale, pretend you're pulling something down. The elbows bend, the upper back engages. See that 2 more times. Inhale, the arms lift. And then on the exhale, pull, bend the elbows, lift the chest, collarbones are wide. See that 1 more time, up. And the last time down, yeah. That was a great distraction for the toes. Let's come down here with the arms, untuck the toes, just give them a little shake out. And then to stretch out through the backs of the knees, take one leg back, toes tucked under, give yourself a little push and pull, back and forth. And then switcheroo to the second side. Yeah, all right. So let that one go. Come back to center. Walk the hands a bit forward, tuck the toes under, and go back slightly, but not all the way to child's pose. Just a little bit. And then within this position, whatever you want to call it, let's create a little pull effect. So hands pull towards the knees. And do you feel how the upper back engages? And then go the other direction. Push, hands back. You might feel the back round and the hips shift back. Do that a few times. It's a little similar to cat-cow, but not exactly. Yeah, all right, friends. And then let's pause and just halfway between those two. Lift the knees off the floor, and now go ahead and push the mat forward so the side body lengthens, the hips drop back. And from here, it might feel good to go straight away into straight legs, or it might feel better to do one at a time. Maybe you go back and forth. Just whatever you need to do to stretch out a little bit. All right. And then from here, friends, let's meet in a forward fold. Just hands and feet come together. Any way you want to get there is fine. Bend the knees, bring the forearms to the thighs. A-okay if you want to separate the feet wider. Now from this position, press the forearms down on the legs and try to pull them back as the chest pulls forward and the shoulder blades move onto the back. And then back off of that effort. I'll show from this side. So just take a few of those. Pull the forearms back, pull the chest forward, and then back off. So every time we do this, we want to feel the muscles in the upper back turn on. Great, next time we're in this pulling position, pause, root down into the legs, and on the next inhale, all the way up we stand. Lift the arms, stretch the legs to straight. Okay, yogis, release the arms and just do a little in and out rotation for a second. Yeah. Go ahead, let's take a little hula hoop asana because I can't do a class without it. And then we'll go the other way. Okay, so go get your strap. And if you don't have a strap, I'll show a way to do it without. I'm gonna have my back to you for a second to show the setup. So the strap will come behind your back. There's no loop in it. And then it'll come just underneath the armpits and you'll hold like so. If you don't have a strap, you'll just stick your thumbs in the armpits and hold like so. It's similar, but the strap gives you a little more leverage. So here we are in our position. I'll face the side. And if you have the strap, go slightly forward and slightly up, but keep the elbows bent. And then for everybody, give a little bit of a pull. And feel like that lifts the upper back. Now notice naturally the elbows will want to go wide. Can you draw the elbows forward? Pull again, and then just slide the hands a little bit more on the strap. You won't go completely straight, but you might get close. And then from here, once you're up, one more time, pull. Remember that cobra hood we did at the beginning. Let's draw the head, the chin back, and then lift the head. If lifting the head feels crummy, just keep your gaze forward. Press down through the soles of the feet. Create a little engagement just below the navel. That'll help support the lower back from the front. And then let's release that. Wiggle out the fingers. We'll go one more time. So starting here and with the hands fairly close. And then you'll give a little bit of a tug at first. Let the elbows wrap down and then start to slide the hands more on the strap as you lift. At any point, maybe add in the head. If the head doesn't feel good, don't do it. Press down through the soles of the feet. A little lift up just below the navel. And it's more about the opening sensation through the front than it is about creating a huge back bend. Yeah, and then up we come to center. Go ahead and release your prop. Just put it to the side. Give the fingers a little wiggle, the wrist a little circle. Yeah. All right, friends, so let's head to the front of your mat. Later on, we might use blocks, so if you have them, just put them in the front. If you don't have them at all, you're fine without. And we'll stand. I'll suggest standing with feet a little bit apart, but if it feels better to have feet all the way touching, that's fine. Root down through the legs. Inhale, the arms are up overhead. Exhale, the hands to prayer, the knees bend, the hips shift back. Broaden the collarbones. Inhale, up we come again, lift. Exhale, bend, hands come to prayer. So we'll change it a little bit. Inhale, up. This time on the exhale, do cactus arcs, elbows bend, hips shift back. Feel like that engages the upper back a little more. And then on the inhale, come up again, arms lift. Exhale, cactus arms. Now every time you do the lift, pretend you have the strap or the thumbs in the armpits. Create a little lift and maybe a little arc back. And then on the exhale, when you bend, still keep that opening through the upper back. That's it. Let's take two more full cycles. Up and down and up And down. We'll stay in the down position. Hands come just to the hips. On the next inhale, straighten the legs, move the chest forward. Exhale, come down, forward fold. You can bend the knees if you wish. Let's do a few halfway lifts. Hands can be on the shins, on the thighs, or on the floor. Now, every time you do the half lift, can you engage the upper back, move the chest forward? And then when you come down, A-okay to bend the knees and A-okay to let yourself pin around and fold in. Take a couple of those. Yeah. Great. All right, last one here. Now let's bring the hands to the floor and we'll go back to plank pose. Now we will stay for a little bit. If you need to put the knees down on the floor, that's fine. Sometimes in plank pose, we get a little hunchy-bunchy in the neck. So can you just relax a little bit? I know we're in plank. Let the chest sink a little towards the floor and then try to pull the chest forward so the neck has more room. Then press into the floor and lift a little bit. Just below the navel, lift that too. Yeah, so here we are, plank asana. To get out of it, we'll put the knees down first, come all the way down to the belly. Just rest for a second. You can take a little wiggle. I'm wiggling back slightly because the next position will have the forearms down. And let's have the elbows just a little bit ahead of the shoulders. Hands could stack or you could interlace, whatever feels best. Let yourself drop down for a second. And then try to pull the forearms back towards your chest as you draw the chest forward, lift. Find that cobra hood as the head lifts up to you. And then lower yourself down. Do that a few more times. So the arms pull back. Create a little lift up just below the navel, and then let the spine grow tall out of that. At any point, if the head lift just doesn't feel good, leave that part out and keep the head either gazing down or slightly forward if the full lift doesn't feel good. Great, so a lot of work here in the upper back. Let's pause the next time you're in the up position. Let's pause, don't hold your breath, but hold the shape. And then we'll lower all the way down, widen the elbows, rest your forehead on the hands. I'm gonna keep my head up so I can talk. Bend your knees and give the legs a little swish from side to side. Yeah, okay. Let's put the legs back down. And then from here, press yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Let's take this one with wider feet. So bring the feet about as wide as your mat. Bend the knees, press the mat forward, press the hips back, roll long through the torso. And then slowly let the legs start to go straighter, unless it feels better for now to keep the knees bent, then just stick with that. Yeah. All right, friends, let's reset so the feet are not quite so wide. Bring the feet forward to the hands, coming to the front of the mat. Any way you want to get there is fine. Press down into the feet. Use the inhale to come all the way up. Arms lift overhead. Exhale, arms come down just beside you and do a little in and out, a few shoulder rolls here. Yeah. So with our next sequence, we'll be having a knee down in our lunge. If you need padding for that, just make arrangements. Standing at the front of the mat, same as before. Let's inhale up. We'll start with the prayer. Exhale, the knees bend, the hands come to prayer. Keep the collarbones broad. Inhale, up we come, lift. Exhale, chair with prayer. Take it one more time like that. And then next we'll add in the cactus arms. So the inhale is up like we were doing. Exhale, chair legs, cactus arms, broaden the collarbones, engage the upper back. Inhale, come up, and like you had the strap, maybe add a small little back bend, and do that a few times. So with this transition, you're keeping you don't really round the upper back ever for this bit. Yeah. Great. Next time we're in the chair with cactus arms, pause. Let's take the hands somewhere on the legs. Inhale, straighten the legs, move the chest forward. Come on down, forward fold, and we'll step the right leg back with the knee down. You can have the toes tucked under or straight down is fine. Now from here, we'll keep the arms down for a second. Hands can be on something. Move the pelvis back, move the chest forward, and then tone a little bit through the belly. Let's take just the right arm straight ahead. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the right elbow, do a one-arm cactus. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, bend. Last time, and every time we do these, you want to think of the effort happening through the back. Great, let's release, and then we'll do the left side. Inhale, arm out on the diagonal. Exhale, cactus, bend the elbows and pull back. Do that a few times. Now see if you can do it without turning the whole body to the left, so it's really just the arm and the shoulder blade. Yeah, great. Okay, let's put the arm down. From here, take a couple rounds to bend and straighten the front knee. And if this feels better to lift the back knee and do it like this, you could do it like that. Your choice. Okay, we're going to be on this knee for a little bit. So let's pause next time the front knee is bent. Lengthen out the spine. Firm up through the belly, and then bring the arms up over your head. Yeah. Let's do this. We don't have the strap, but we do have our thumbs. Put the thumbs in the armpits. Lift up. Think of the front of the armpits lifting up, but the back of the armpits going down, so it's like a little coil. Yeah. Keep the lift up just below the navel, and then let go of the arms. Take the arms up. Pretend you have the strap, and that's pulling you up. Any amount is fine. Maybe add the head, maybe don't. All right. And now come halfway forward, hinge. Inhale. On the exhale, cactus the arms. Do this a few times. If this is too much, just do the one at a time that we did a second ago. You can alternate. Yes, yogis. Okay, last one here. Let's put the arms down. Go ahead now, do lift the back knee, toes tucked under. Yeah. And then let's go either straight in the front leg and hold, or you can go back and forth. I can't decide. I'm doing each. Okay, so that's that for side one. Let's rebend the front knee, move the blocks if you're on blocks. Let's go to plank pose, and we'll take that same adjustment we did before. So within plank, sink the chest a little bit, and now try to pull the chest forward, pull the shoulders towards your feet, and then press into the floor and lift. Lift up a little more, just below the navel. It's work, but it's powerful. And then we'll come all the way down to the belly. Slightly different arm position, but same idea. Let's keep the hands where you have them, like a cobra position, and lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Keep that, and like we did before, on the inhale, try to pull the hands back, pull the chest forward. If you want to lift the legs, you can. Not necessary. And then exhale, we come back down. So every time we do this, we want the work in the upper back. If you're feeling like the work is mostly in the lower back, I would advise don't go up so high and do more of the forward action in the chest, and that should help transfer the work. So it's more in the upper back. All right, guys. When you've had enough of this, let's press back child's pose. Your choice if the toes are flat or tucked. Let's take your hands up onto the spider fingers just for a sec. And then from here, we'll head into down dog with wide legs like we did before. Yeah. Go ahead and add in a little bit of pigeon toes. So the toes turn in, bend the knees, press the mat forward, send the hips back. At the tops of the thighs, press apart, go a little wider. And then in your feet, hug in somewhat in the ankles. Yeah. And that should give a little more stability for the lower back. Then when you're ready, we'll reset the feet so they're still wide, but toes pointing forward. Yeah. Now when you're ready, we'll come forward, feet outside of the hands. You could just step there or a couple steps, or you could jump if you want, like a frog. And then once you're in feet outside of the hands position, rest the forearms up on the thighs, just like we did before. Try to press down and pull back with the arms as the chest comes forward. Stay like that, tone the low belly a little bit, and then on the inhale, all the way up we come. Lift the arms, straighten out the legs. Exhale, the arms come back down. Okay, bring the feet just underneath you. Move around a little bit, anything is fine. And then we'll do all of that on side 2, so you know what's coming. You can arrange what props you want to have. Let's be at the front of the mat, and we'll just do one of each, the chair prayer and the chair cactus. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, chair prayer. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, chair cactus. Inhale, arms up. Pretend you have the strap. Lift, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, all the way down, forward fold. Possible bend in the knees if that's more comfortable. Halfway up, we come lengthen. And then down we go. Let's step the left leg back, bringing the knee down. Hands on something, blocks or the floor. First, let's lengthen. Draw the pelvis back, draw the chest forward. We'll start with the left arm. Inhale the arms straight ahead. Exhale, bend and cactus. So I'll be specific. When you come forward, turn the palm in towards the midline of the body. And then when you cactus, turn the palm down towards the floor. Yeah, one more time on this side. And down, release the arms. Second side, inhale forward. Exhale, bend and pull. A couple more of those. Right around the kind of the lower border of the shoulder blade is where we want to feel the work. Yeah. All right. And then release the arm. Let's firm the belly. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Oh. And I just totally forgot what we did on side 1. So let's do this. Hinge forward. Inhale. Exhale. Here we go. So I know we did this. I think we did something in between, but I forgot. So I'll get you later. Now, if this is not working for you, do one arm at a time. You can just alternate. All right, take a little break. Put the arms down. Back knee up or down. You can bend and straighten the knee a couple of times. Yeah. Good, good, good. All right, and then if I remember, we'll get to it. Let's keep the front knee bent. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. And then go ahead and just step forward this time. Back foot steps to the front foot. You can remove the blocks if you're on them. Root down through both legs. Inhale all the way up. We stand. Arms lift. Exhale, release the arms and just move a little bit. Yeah. So next we'll take a calf stretch, and this can be done either in down dog, or you can go grab a wall or a chair. I'm going to show the wall version, but if you want to do down dog, just get there and I'll say what to do. So your hands are on the wall or a chair. If you're at the wall, step the right leg back with the heel down. If you're in down dog, step the right foot like an inch forward and then bring the heel down. For everybody, take a little side to side shift in your pelvis, and that'll just get into different parts of the calf. If you're in down dog, you can kind of lift and lower the left hip. That might feel interesting. Stretch the right side. Yeah, good, good. And then whatever you've done, switch, coming into side 2. Press the heel down. If you're standing, have the heel touching the floor. If you're in down dog, it might not touch the floor. And then let's add in a little movement, a little side to side. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll be done with that. If you're in down dog, go to normal down dog. If you're standing, just come back up. And then if you've been in down dog, come all the way, feet to the hands. And let's everybody inhale the arms up. Exhale, release the arms. You can give the wrists a few little circles here too. Yeah. So we'll take a variation of Warrior 1 pose, couple variations. So let's do this. Go grab your strap and just have it handy. Put it over one shoulder. And we'll stand at the front of the mat, hands to the hips. Let's step the right leg back with the heel down. Now my stance, for me, it's usually a little more comfortable to have a shorter, wider Warrior 1. If you want to take the leg further back than I have it, that's fine. So in your position here, let's press into the back heel. Keep the pressure as you bend the front knee. Yeah. And then go ahead and just take Warrior 1. Just take it the way you normally would. And then we'll release and step forward and change to side two. Left leg comes back, heel to the floor. Plant it down and try to press it back and keep that as the front knee bends. And then up come the arms. Warrior one pose. Don't worry about it too much. We're going to add on some stuff. Yeah. All right. So let's release the arms, step forward. And we'll go to the right side again, but don't go into the pose. Just step the leg back. Now from here, you'll use your strap and finagle that little setup we did before. And if you don't have the strap again, you'll just hook the thumbs in the armpits. So here we are with this position. And let's start with the upper body. So just like we did before, lift a little bit, start with the elbows wide. And then let the elbows turn in, the hands slide up the strap, go towards straight but not all the way straight. And keep a little pull up happening as you now bend the left knee. So we've got the up now and the down happening at the same time. Think of your body just energetically going both directions, up and down. Now keep this lift up here. Add on a lift just below the navel and find that cobra hood. If it feels okay to do the head, add that in. If that doesn't feel good though, don't do it. Just keep your head looking forward. Great. Now to get out of this, we'll straighten the front leg. Go ahead and remove the strap. We'll pick it up later for the second side. Hands to the hips, hinge forward just on the diagonal, just a little bit. Now notice here, in a second we'll go lower and lower. Notice at which point the shoulders want to round in. And for the moment, try to resist that. So keep the collarbones wide. Don't overdo so much that you end up in like a sway back position. So you want to keep the support in the core. And then hinge forward, 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 forward. Yeah. Now eventually here you'll want to release the hands. They could go to the floor, they could go to blocks, they could go on furniture if you've got a couch in front of you or something. Yeah. Now even though we're going down, can you maintain the width in the collarbones and that opening idea through the upper back? Yeah. And then let that go a little bit. You can bend and straighten the front knee a couple of times just to stretch out the hamstring. Now let's pause with the front leg, your version of straight. If hammies are really tight and you need to stay a little bent, that's fine. Now whatever your hands are on, the floor, the blocks, you could have the hands on your leg, that's fine. Try to pull that back as you draw the chest forward and create again that tone through the upper back and back off. Let's do that 2 more times. And last one. Great. From here, let's firm the belly. A little easier is to bend the knee, a little more challenging is to keep it straight. Arms can come back, or if you feel fine in the back, arms can come forward. Let's tone through the belly, hinge your way up to center. Go ahead, bend the front knee, arms lift, warrior one, and find all the things we had. So your imaginary strap pulls you up. Maybe you add in the cobra hood. And then let's release, step forward. And that's that. Yeah, just move around for a second. Okay, friends, last side. We'll do the strap. So go ahead and find it. Step the left leg back, but don't go into the pose yet. Just step the leg back. And then press the heel down and back. Let that be your anchor on the back here. And then up come the arms. If you're using the strap, start with elbows wide, little tug. And then narrow the elbows in towards the center line. Start to go straighter, but not all the way straight. Keep the lift happening. That's it. And then as you're ready, let the front knee bend. And see if you can maintain this up and the down at the same time. Yeah, as long as it feels okay, you can add the head. For me, it doesn't feel so good on this side. I can stay put. Great. And then from here, let's go ahead and straighten out the leg. Take the strap away. And then bring the hands to the hips. Broaden the collarbones, but don't let the front ribs thrust forward. Keep a little containment through here. And then we'll start to come forward, forward, forward. Notice at some point the shoulders will want to round forward, but resist that. Keep a little tone through the abdomen. And then eventually here, hands come down to the floor, to the blocks. You could put them on the leg if you need to. Yeah. And then once you're in position here, let's create a little, that pull effect. So try to pull back as you pull the chest forward. And then back off. Do that a couple of times. Great. And I know I reversed the order a little bit here. Just pause and take a few rounds to bend and straighten the front leg, just a little hamstring stretch. Yeah. All right, let's pause with the leg straight or bend the knee if you need to. And then from this position, find the lengthening through the torso, firm up through the core. Take the arms back for a little easier or arms forward for a little more challenge. Use the core to hinge your way up to center. Once you're there, bend the front knee, lift the arms if they're not already, warrior one, and find all of those things. So imaginary strap. Okay, yogis, and then step forward, release. Move around a little bit. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to recommend it's kind of half down dog. You can put your hands on the wall or grab, like if your bed is in front of you, some furniture, whatever. So I don't think you can see me there. I'll just go here. So have the hands straight ahead and walk the feet back. So your body's more or less in the letter L position. Yeah, bend the knees a little. Widen through the upper part of the thighs. Narrow and hug in a little through your ankles, and then let the legs go straighter again. Good. Okay, up we come to stand. Release, give the arms a little shake. Now, there's a lot of back bending. I'm just curious. Everybody's back feeling good? You give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, good. All right, great. That's the plan. It's sad when we do back bends and then our backs hurt. All right, so this next one, camel pose, Ustrasana. It's not really a crowd pleaser, but we're going to do a baby camel, little calf. So you'll come down to the knees, and if you need to put a blanket under the knees, absolutely fine to do that. I'm going to do it. And then your choice with the feet, you can have toes tucked under or feet flat, whatever you want is fine. Now let's use, instead of the strap, we'll just use the thumbs here. So stick your thumbs in your armpits, pull up, not so much forward, but up, yeah? And now think of this coil effect. So the front of the armpits lift, the back of the armpits go down, yeah? Keep that idea. Let's put the hands either like this, fingers pointing down. If your wrists are flexible, fingers pointing up, that's fine, or just hands to the hips is fine too. We're not going to go very far. Lift a little more up, and then just like your collarbones could smile, let them smile. Very small. Yeah. And then press down into the shins to bring yourself up. Yeah, see, no big deal, no big deal. So I will do it again, and I'll talk you through a few add-ons. For some people, though, the add-ons just aren't good. So if it doesn't feel good to add on, stick with this little version. So let's start with the hands, actually now thumbs in the dimples, fingers on the sides. And without moving your hands, find that same effect of lifting up through the front of the armpits, down through the back of the armpits. And then don't go forward, but go up, 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 up. And then press the thumbs into the dimples and almost try to lift up here too, which is a little counterintuitive. Often we're taught to press down, but I find the going up is helpful to open up through the chest. Now this might be where you stay. Maybe you shift your hands and start to walk the hands either down the backs of the thighs, or you might be able to hold on to the feet. I'm going to stick with right here. Yeah. And then lift up through the chest. And that's that. We're done with the camels. All right, guys. Let's come have a seat. I'll suggest either cross-legged or sitting on your shins in Virasana. We're going to take a few twists here. So whatever seat you've chosen, take your hands now to the hip creases and just press down through the hands and lift up. And again, it's not a forward, it's just a straight up to create a little space. If you're cross-legged, whatever leg is in front, twist that direction. If you're in Virasana or something symmetrical, just pick a side. Yeah. Now in this position, we can still work on a little bit of that effort through the back body. So whatever is your back arm, just bring your attention to the shoulder blade and let the shoulder blade drop into the back and towards the spine. Yeah, now the arm that's in front, that shoulder blade actually moves away from the spine. So they're doing different things. And then let's undo. Change the leg cross if you're there. If you're symmetrical, stay. And then we'll turn your second side. Go ahead and just do a little bit. And now think about whatever arm is in back. Let the shoulder blade press into the back and towards the spine. Yeah. The other shoulder blade moves away from the spine as we turn. Great. And then unwind. Just move a little bit. Yeah, let's do, just pick whatever, you can keep this one or change your legs and just move around in a few circles. Yeah, and then go the other direction. So when we do back bends, for most folks that have problems with it, it's either the low back or the neck. So my plan is to get this part really, really mobile, really strong, and really open, so that the low back and the neck don't have to take over or bear the brunt of it. All right, so let's come, let's just take the legs forward here, and we'll sit. Dandasana. You can be sitting on something if you need. Prop up onto the fingertips. Press down to lift up. And then now think about the outer part of the shoulder just wrapping back, but not so much that the ribs press forward. It's just an opening idea here. Yeah, good. Now, you decide. Sometimes we let go of the floor and we collapse. If that happens, just keep on working on this. If you're good to lift up, let's bend the elbows a little. Pretend you have the straps set up. Pull slightly up. Elbows start to narrow in. And then go up, 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 up. Go ahead and let the chest lift. Maybe the gaze lift. Yeah, it looks very joyful, but it's challenging. There's a lot going on. All right, and then relax. Just let the legs wiggle out a little bit. Yes, yogis. Okay, so from here, we'll come into a bridge variation. And Mary, you'll just do the first part and not the second part. So come down onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We did this in the beginning of class, but now it might feel a little different. So let's start in your robot arm position. The elbows are bent. And then you choose how wide they are, just whatever works. And then press down into the elbows and press the inner shoulder blade up into the back. And then from there, you can wiggle a little so the shoulder blades come underneath you. Press the head, let the chin tip up slightly, not a lot, just a little, and press the head gently down into the floor. Yeah. So we've got the backs of the arms pressing, the back of the head pressing. If this is where you want to stay, you just stay here and come in and out. If you're adding on to bridge pose from here, go ahead and start to lift the hips up, but we're already so open in the upper chest, so you won't have too far to go. Now, if you do feel that the lower back starts working too hard, come down, reset the upper back, and then come up, but not as far. I'm going to demo that. So here I am just a little bit. And try to move the back of the pelvis away from the back of the ribs, and then lift up again, keeping the space. Good. Okay, down we come. Untuck the shoulders. Relax the arms. Let's take the feet, keep the feet actually where they are, and bring the knees in towards your chest, and then take the legs over to the right side for a twist. You could, if you wanted to, if you had a block in between the knees, sometimes that feels better, or sometimes just putting your hand underneath the top knee to support it a little bit. Okay, and then up we come, and let the knees drop over to the second side. And then you can support the leg if you need to. If it feels good to come all the way, you can. All right, and then coming back to center, just give the legs a little, any kind of stir action, just move around a little bit. Yeah. Great. And then let's keep the right leg in and stretch the left leg long. Just give the leg a little squeeze in towards your chest. And then from here, relax the leg and change your hand hold so you're holding behind the thigh. And you can press the thigh into the hands. Try to press it forward and then let the leg start to straighten. And it might not go completely straight. You could stay here just holding, or you could bend and straighten back and forth. And then let's meet with the knee bent and take a twist. Right leg goes over to the left side. And center, changing. Right leg goes long, left leg comes in. First, just to squeeze. And then we'll change the hand hold, so you're holding behind the thigh. Press leg and arms into each other and lengthen up the leg. You could go back and forth with that if you prefer. And then we'll bend the knee and twist. Left leg over to the right side. Good. And then coming back to center here, let's take any last little, anything that you need to wind down. Now, in a second, we'll head to Shavasana. If your low back is feeling a little uncomfortable there, I would suggest putting something either behind the thighs, like a bolster, or maybe putting the legs up on a chair or on a bed so that you've got a little height there and the low back has a little more room to spread. So you set up how you like for your final resting pose. Just however you're the most comfortable. And let's take a little check-in. Notice how you feel. Notice where you sense your breath, where in the body. We've done a lot to engage through the back and open through the front. Now that we're in Shavasana, see if you can let the front of the body just settle, almost sink in. And imagine the back of the body opening wide to support that sinking in from the front of the body. Imagine that same sensation going on in the face. The back of the head widens and the muscles in your face relax. You can imagine the eyes just dropping into the head. Your attention back to the body. As we move out of Shavasana, you might just start with a little movement in the fingers and toes. Maybe turn your head from side to side. No rush at all. When you're ready, let your knees bend. Roll over onto one side. And take your time from there to come up to sit. Just be there for a moment, hands at heart center. Thank your own body, everything it's able to do. And thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.